Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bigfoot Running Channel. Day 3 of the training vlog leading up to the 115km Heysen ultra marathon in Adelaide, South Australia. I thought today we'd start on the computer again. Just in case anyone doesn't know what an ultra marathon is, an ultra marathon, also known as ultra distance or ultra running, is any foot race longer than the traditional marathon, which is 42 kilometers or 26 miles. So you often get 50km ultras, also known as baby ultras, 100k ultras, which is what I've sort of been focusing on. And then you have 100-mile ultras, which is 160k's, and then they get even bigger than that. So there's 200 milers, 240 miles, and all kinds of crazy challenges people get into. So that's what an ultra marathon is. A lot of time when I'm talking to people, or they hear about it for the first time, they assume ultra sort of means rough terrain or trails, where it's really just the distance beyond the normal marathon distance. Now, there's lots of amazing ultra marathons around the world. It seems to be a sport that's just starting to pick up in popularity, thanks to people like David Goggins, who've written amazing books. He actually inspired me to sort of get into it. His book Can't Hurt Me had a lot to do with me sort of hearing about the sport and seeing it as a pretty worthy challenge to get into. But yeah, it has taken off, although it still feels like it's at a grassroots phase. It's an interesting phase for the sport where it is gaining popularity while also it still has that grassroots kind of a feel to it. My dog is trying to jump on my lap right now. Anyway, now, one of the first ultra marathons, I'm not sure exactly people have been running long distances for possibly thousands of years, but the first ultra marathon, one of the most famous ones, is the Western States 100, which is a 100-mile foot race in the Sierra Nevada mountains in Northern California. Now, this, as the story goes, it originally was a horse race, a trail ride. And people used to ride horses around the course. And then as the story goes, and I might be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but Gordy Ainslie, one year, well, I think this is how it goes anyway, but basically someone's horse got sick, and the year their horse couldn't run it, they decided to see if they could run it themselves. That's kind of how it all started. And since then, the Western States has continued to be one of the... they say the Western States is like the Olympics of ultramarathon running, with the UTMB in France. So Western States is the huge one in America, where the UTMB is the huge European race. But they're both amazing and both quite prestigious events and quite grueling. So that's a bit about ultramarathon running in general. Now, that's Gordy Ainslie. Doesn't like wearing t-shirts. Another thing with ultramarathon running is you notice the age of the participants. You can actually peak in the sport at an older age, and I suppose a lot of the philosophy and what I like about ultra running is that it's mind over matter, and there's always excuses, but it's about squeezing every last bit of potential out of yourself and refusing to back down, and the connection to nature and enjoying everything it is, and the people, and it's amazing. You'll find people are very encouraging running ultra marathons. There's actually a psychological factor where you do get more of a boost when you inspire others and be positive and wish others a good race, rather than sort of having that win-win mentality. So here's Courtney Dauwalter. She's my favourite ultra marathon runner. It's amazing as well seeing, women can compete with men and often beat men, and Courtney has done that many, many times. So on the weekend, it's part of the reason why I decided to start my vlog, is that I really do enjoy looking at YouTube and trying to get motivation and trying to follow the sport as much as I can. And Courtney Dauwalter, basically, she set a course record a few weeks ago in the Western States, winning that for the female course record. And by the way, she's only a few years younger than me, and she's course recording and setting best times and doing amazing things. So again, don't let your age sort of hold you back too much, if at all. So yeah, she's definitely someone to look into if you're new to the sport and want to be inspired. Her attitude is amazing. This is the interview after the Hard Rock 100, which I'll mention in a minute. But yeah, just her attitude, and she's just such a positive sort of, person. She was actually a teacher. I'm a teacher. She retired or left teaching to become a pro ultra marathon runner. Now, 3 weeks after getting a course record in the Western States, Courtney entered the Hard Rock 100, which is another huge prestigious ultramarathon in America, this time in Colorado, high altitude. So they were saying, when I was watching the live coverage, they were saying people who were cheering on the sidelines had to, gasp for breath after cheering the runners into the aid stations. That's how thin the air is up there. There's less oxygen the higher you go, so your heart is working a lot harder. There was someone I heard in the commentary was saying they'd been in Leadville for a few days and their Garmin watch hadn't picked up any sleep, even though they'd had sleep each night. Their heart was working so hard it hadn't actually registered any sleep. So you can imagine the effect that has on a huge ultra marathon. Now, what got me into this was, I know Elon Musk has got these little satellites everywhere, the Starlinks you can now buy, which helps people get into more remote locations. And that's enabled people to basically live stream the Hard Rock 100, which is, I think, the first time that's ever happened on the weekend. So I was actually following that live. I watched the race start. I was watching it throughout the night. Like, I'm on holidays at the moment, so I suppose this is my version of getting up to watch the World Cup soccer or something for some people. And it was amazing. I was commenting in the live comment section, and it was just like a really cool thing to watch. The footage was a little bit janky, but you're watching it live, being streamed in a remote location. So if you want to check that out, the Hard Rock 100, the footage is all up, and there's interviews for the runners afterwards and everything. This race was awesome. Courtney Dauwalter came 4th overall. She almost came 3rd in the entire race, including the men, but came 4th. She set a course record again. So the only human being, male or female, to set back-to-back course records in the Western States and the Hard Rock 100. And it was just amazing, just amazing following it live. I even went to an Adelaide Crows game. It was, Crows were playing at 7 p.m. Saturday, went to the live game at Adelaide Oval, still had my AirPods in, still had my phone on my lap following it, because the first male finisher from France actually finished during the match. It was like half-time when I watched him finish. Saw the end, saw Courtney Dauwalter finish, watched it with my family on the couch, on YouTube, on the TV. And yeah, just amazing time for the sport to be able to do that. This is the kind of scenery. That's Colorado. That's on my bucket list. I have to get there one day. Just the most amazing place by the looks of it, and a hub for ultra running, trail running, that sort of thing. Now there's about 142 entrants in the Hard Rock 100, and they don't favour professionals. You have to qualify. These are the qualifying races from around the world. There's one in Australia that I could do if I wanted to have this as a goal, the Alpine 100. So you have to run that. But not only do you have to qualify each year, to get into the Hard Rock the following year, there's a lottery, and like some people it takes 10 years or more to get in. And if you do get in, you probably will be racing with the likes of Courtney Dauwalter, or you might not see them. You might see them at the finish line or the next day, but yeah, you will be on the course with them, which I reckon would just be amazing. So that's the Hard Rock 100. This is the Alpine 100 Australia. You're sort of running up the ski fields, when they're not in action in the Victorian Alps. So yeah, I don't know, this might be a future goal for me. I don't know. I'm definitely contemplating it. I don't know if I like the idea of running at high altitude. That's like a whole other dimension, but we'll see. Now, the Hard Rock 100, another cool little bit of a cool part of it is the time doesn't stop until you kiss the rock at the end. So imagine if there was ever like a photo finish, you'd be diving in, and after running 100 miles, you're going to want to win if you have the chance. So they do kiss the rock at the end of the Hard Rock 100, which is a cool little, I don't know, I just love stuff like that. It just makes it interesting. So yeah, that's a bit about ultra marathon running, a bit about the Hard Rock 100. The footage, by the way, was all presented by Run Steep, Get High YouTube channel, and you see, like, I listen to podcasts with these guys on it all the time, and yeah, it was just seeing that. So highly recommend it. Maybe check out some of this if you want. One cool thing I'll just leave with, like, this is the presentation ceremony. So everyone's just out, deck chairs the next day, relaxing. And all the runners are being called out. So Courtney DeVolder will get up, just walk past people on their deck chairs. You know, the Michael Jordan of the sport, basically. And yeah, it's just that grassroots feeling is still very much a part of it, even at the professional level. You know, there's Courtney DeVolder just chilling out with some of the fans, getting photos. That's only, you know, some of this is after running 200-mile races within 3 weeks of each other. Just imagine that, 3 weeks in between the Western States and the Hard Rock 100, and she set course records on both. So yeah, there's a lot on YouTube to keep you inspired. And yeah, after watching that over the weekend, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this training vlog a go. And here we are now, training for my race. Not quite as prestigious or grueling as the Hard Rock 100, but Heysen 115km. And it's my baby, so looking forward to that and getting out for a run today. Okay, we're back at Anstey Hill. I wasn't going to film too much here today, just keeping it short, the running side. And I've left my SD card for the GoPro home, so I won't be worrying about that. So just a bit of iPhone footage today. I'm going to run with the sticks again, the Wizard sticks. Keep some weight off this ankle. Yeah, the ankle's feeling a bit better today, if anything, compared to the last 2 days, which is really good. So I've done about 27 Ks in the last couple of days, run some hills. Sticks might be helping a little bit, but yeah, good signs as far as the ankle or foot or leg goes. Yeah, got a bit of blue sky, bit of winter blue skies again today, so it should be nice out. Just yeah, I'll record a few little bits and pieces and share my my Strava at the end. So here we go, day 3 out of 95. Heysen 115km training vlog. Like and subscribe. Actually, you could be the first person to click like on one of these videos. Go for it. Go. Who's going to be the first? Click like. Whatever. I don't care. Like I said, no one has to watch these for me to get something out of it. So yeah, just like and subscribe, dude. Come on. One thing I'm trying to do a little bit more of lately is stretching. This is my normal stretching spot before and after every run, as well as at home. Do some stretching, bit of yoga with Adrian, helps to avoid injury. During the winter though, stretching in my normal spot when it's wet, you kind of skip a few days. So making the effort now to stretch a little bit more now that we're getting some clearer skies and it's not so wet. I can actually get back into that routine, although I have been doing some stretching in the rotunda over there. So yeah, that's the kind of thing, you know, when you're running, it's not as glamorous, it's not as fun as running the trails, stretching, but it's all part of it, and I tend to neglect it unless something's wrong. So I'm trying to get into a better routine where I'm not just stretching and doing the strengthening exercises and prehab when something's wrong, but actually trying to make it part of my routine. And even if you only do a little bit, it's better than nothing, or it's better than waiting until it's too late and you're injured. So yeah, it's a bit of a stretch and then we'll be out on the trails. So we're getting around the track, heading towards the quarry again. Hopefully this dude isn't about to do some more illegal dumping. There's a lot of rubbish around here lately. It's getting a bit crazy. I'll show you some nice views of Black Hill Conservation Park. Better watch out for that guy coming around the corners. Anyway, for all I know, he actually owns the land there, but yeah, you do get a lot of people dumping and There's a whole heap of shit there. Yep, keep going, mate. He is heading back out. So yeah, hopefully I won't have to look out for that dude as I head down to that track down there. They did pause next to the rubbish. I actually caught someone about to torch a stolen car down here once, and we dealt with that with the police. That was the last time I really worried about trespassing down there, because they didn't seem too fussed. They were more interested in asking me about how my runs are going. Check out the view, Adelaide Hills. That's Black Hill Conservation Park. We might have to head up there one day for a vlog. Yeah, not a bad view. And then back down to suburbia. We actually looked at buying a house down there, that one. The big orange one. Triangular roof in the centre. It's still for sale, but they're asking some ridiculous amount they'll never get. Yeah, awesome. The Adelaide Hills. There's the city of Adelaide. About 20 k's away from the distance. Beach behind that. To the quarry. We'll get the next shot from up there. Not bad weather for winter. Loving it. Alright, let's go. So there you go, you made it back. 11k run. That's pretty much my standard sort of daily loop. And it's a beautiful day. See you next time, day 4. Like and subscribe. Be the first one to like a video. Go!